Thongger and welcome to another Dawn of War 2 Retribution online commentary video. Today's game is played on the August Desert Gate, and let's look at the teams here. On the red team we have a full Imperial Guard team. We have Logic7 playing as the Commissar Lord. We have Thongger, me, playing as the Inquisitor. And we have something playing as the Lord General. On the blue team we have Naaium, a very good player, very high ranking player. You've seen him around, probably seen him around on Red Rupee cast or DOW replays or whatnot. Very high ranking player. We have Mana playing as the Lictor Alpha, and we have Phil playing as the Ork Warboss. So anyway, right off the bat, I am gonna cap middle with my Inquisitor. She moves pretty fast, and I'm gonna push forward with my troops. We just have everyone pushing forward over here. Looks like we do have Phil and Mana doubling up top, although the Lictor Alpha is hanging around the middle, capping as he does. Lictor Alpha very effective on his own and can do very well with very little support, especially with that Lone Hunter perk. You know, Naaium down south with his Space Marines gonna set up behind this green cover over here in a little standoff with the guard over here. And up north we have the first engagements between Logic7 and Phil and Mana, and Slugger's leading the way but getting scared off a bit by the Commissar Lord. I see that my teammate is getting doubled and I am not sending any help. I am busy using my entire army to take on this Lictor Alpha, and I'm charging forward, forcing off the Lictor Alpha. There's not much he can do, but my ally is being pushed back while I'm taking my whole army to solo one Lictor Alpha. Meanwhile, my ally on the Lord General is getting pushed back by Naaium over here. Naaium already arming his scouts with shotguns and his force commander forcing melee. Tactical Space Marines taking a lot of damage. Sweet special attack, doing so much damage to all these guardsmen, but Tactical Space Marines have to get out of there. Meanwhile, Logic7 getting pushed off. The Warboss already has angry bits, which gives him, now I'm angry, I think it's a charge over here, and my ally is getting pushed off. But meanwhile I have decapped him, or capped the middle over here, and I'm going to start sweeping north over here. Meanwhile, Naaium is doing very well against the Lord General and is pushing him back. His force commander really doing a number on these guardsmen, but this sentinel will be able to kite him forever, and the shotgun scouts are charging into very close range of the Lord General. Getting a shotgun blast off will probably be able to down a few retinue members, probably trying to get a kill on the Sarge over here. The Sarge is very expensive and forcing melee of him, trying to keep them from firing on the Lord General. Meanwhile, my Inquisitor getting focus fired down by a lot of Tyranids over here. My guardsmen trying to offer support, just trying to bleed models off these guys with my Sentinel leading away, but the Inquisitor has to get out of there. Stop going off on this Hormagaunt brood when my Imperial guardsmen are going to focus down these Hormagaunts. I'm going to force them off. Going to stick my guardsmen in green cover, but meanwhile Phil is taking a lot of damage, but he has pushed my ally back, but he's probably going to have to retreat over here. But the top is completely uncapped, but Naaium did go down. His force commander just got focus fired down a lot, and I think his scouts had to get out of there as well. You know, I am doing quite well in the middle over here, have quite good central control of the map, so we've lost our natural power node, so our resource income is actually suffering as a result of that. But we do have higher requisition income, and I'm continuously decapping the natural over here. Flesh hooks going down on my guardsmen, not doing too much because just one measly guardsman. They are so cheap to reinforce. I don't really care. Stop going off. Gonna force this little Lictor Alpha back, and my ally is charging back on. And the Orcs are coming up behind my dudes over here, and my guardsmen have to get out of there. I do stomp, or try to stomp, but I realize that my stomper is on cooldown, so my Sentinel is in big trouble. Two shooters over here. Fortunately, they don't have their big shooters, and looks like my Sentinel may just be able to crawl out of there. I am pulling out Catachan Devils. Logic has put out Catachan Devils as well. Catachan Devils almost a must in dealing with all these guys over here. And Naaium is pulling out a devastated Marine squad, getting pushed back once again by the Imperial Guard player down south. But now Phil is coming down to the mid to decap everything that I capped as well. But this is giving my ally a chance, and my Catachan Devils are up north as well. So we have two squads of Catachans up here with my hero, getting a crossbow pistol with for my Inquisitor as well. Going to be very good for snaring all these blobs of infantry. Grenade blast going off. Double grenade blast. We sort of stacked our grenade shots over there, so we didn't do too much damage. But our Catachans are moving in a range, and the Catachans will just absolutely shred all these Termagants with their shotguns over here. And there's really nothing these guys, and these guys are going to give the Catachans chance to close the distance, and they have to retreat on out of there. Meanwhile, the middle is being decapped by Mana over here. Mana being very sneaky with this Hormagaunt brood over here. And Phil is just running around the middle, uncapping stuff. And looks like the Lord General down south is fortifying the location over here. Naaium getting a Devastator Marine squad setting up over here. Gonna be able to lock down this whole area and gonna make it very difficult for the Sentinel to push effectively. The Catatrans forcing off the Lictor Alpha. Not much the Lictor Alpha can do against all this stuff over here. And now we got a clean shot at the gen farm, so we can repay tit for tat. And this is probably gonna cause them more resource loss because our gen farm wasn't pumped up when we lost it, and this is a fully pumped up gen farm, so we're just gonna absolutely hammer it to bits over here. The Catatrans is doing so much damage with their shotguns, and I am recapping the middle with my double guardsman squads over here. But we do have Slugger boys and shooter boys charging for the Slugger boys armed with big shooters and with their knob leaders, so gonna make them very dangerous. DPS using snare to give my Catatrans time to get away. The Ork Warboss charging through a lot of these guys, but now he's a bit overextended and taking a lot of fire from our Catatrans and goes down to Logic's Catatrans over here. Now these Slugger boys, which were tied up by my Commissar, don't have the support, which are tied up by my Inquisitor Lord, didn't have the support of their Warboss and could not support their Warboss, and now we are isolating them and cutting them down. The Catatrans are behind good cover and shredding these Slugger boys, but now Mana is coming down to support his ally and is catching Logic, and Logic's army is pretty beat up over here, so probably not going to be able to hold the line. The Sentinel goes down to Naaium over here, taking a face full of Devastator fire, and now these guardsmen don't have any answer to these Devastator Marines and are going to be forced back and going to give them a shot at this fully pumped up gen farm over here. And we do have tactical Marines which did sneak behind our alliance. A nice grenade going down, giving a lot of these poor little guardsmen, almost wiping the whole squad. And these tactical Marines have a clear shot at our gen farm, so now I'm being very sneaky with this spare squad of tactical Marines and just flaming a whole gen farm here. But I am here to respond with my whole army. I did lose my Sentinel somewhere, probably on capping duties. And my Inquisitor is closing the distance, gonna use the snare on these guys to allow my Catatrans to close the distance, and these guys are really caught in between a rock and a hard place, and I'm gonna have to get out of there. Last turret forcing up these Devastator Marine squads over here. Devastator Marines not as tough as their tactical Marine counterparts, or not really counterparts, but they have much less health and a bit squishier than tactical Marines, but are heavy infantry, so it does make them a bit more resilient to small arms round. You know, these tactical Marines being very cheeky. Almost, they did get the decup on our natural, so now I'm being very cheeky over here. But I'm just gonna recap. Did get a grenade blast off, but unfortunately was not able to take out a model. You know, Logic making a hard push, a bit over adventurous with his Commissar Lord, and he did go down to a whole blob of Termagant brood fire. And I am heading up north to res my ally over here. Logic first to hit tier 2 with a lot of resources and pulling out Chimera, so I'm just gonna res Logic right here, and my Catatrans are on the field. Double guardsman, nothing they can do against this angry force commander who is pissed off and swinging that chainsaw and hacking my guardsmen to bits over here. You know, we do have Phil coming down south here, but this is quite a fortified guard position, and these Slugger boys are going to be forced off. Probably not going to be able to push against all these guardsmen, especially with this bunker and heavy weapons team inside right now. Now my Catatrans forcing melee of the Lictor Alpha. Lictor Alpha has feeder tendrils which will heal it, but my Catatrans are pretty beastly in combat and did manage to bring it down. Lost one model, so that was well worth the loss of one Catatrans to bring down that hero. Unfortunately, the force commander is coming up north to res the Lictor Alpha, so he's gonna get right up. My guardsman trying to stall the Termagant brood over here by just taking a lot of fire, probably gonna get out of there. And I am pulling out a Chimera of my own over here, so we're gonna have 2 Chimeras on the field, gonna give our guys a lot of staying power. And we do have infiltrated scouts on the field, probably gonna try and hurl a grenade into this bunker over here. And these tactical Marines jumping in, getting suppressed at the last second, but the scouts are moving in, gonna hurl a grenade. This is big trouble. No, not hurling grenade at the bunker, hurling grenade at this guardsman bomb, and oh wow, so much damage to this guardsman squad, almost wiping the whole squad. But 2 tactical Marines went down to the Devastator squad, and now this heavy weapon squad is probably reloading, not firing for some reason, but interesting. Anyway, while that's going on with the Chimera on the field, Logic and I are going to be able to make a hard push. My guardsman did jump in the building to tie up the Lord General over here. I am going to snare him with, or stun him with Hammer of the Witches over here, and going to focus fire him down with the Catachans, and he's going to take a lot of damage over here. And did try to snare him with the crossbow bolt pistol, but he got out there in time. And I've put out heavy weapons team to deal with all this ranged infantry blobs over here. You know, meanwhile, the Lord General's heavy weapons team had to get out there. Have they been no, they haven't been upgraded with anything. But anyway, now Naaium has a clean shot at our southern requisition and gen farms over here, while we are pushing up north, hitting the northern gen farm again. And I'm gonna start fortifying this location with my my heavy weapons team. I did not get Chimera. Interesting. And I'm hitting tier 3 right off the bat. Not how I play, but oh well, we'll see how it goes. My Inquisitor not really upgraded, has the crossbow bolt pistol. Catachans fully upgraded with the Sarge and grenade launcher man and whatnot have you. But now Naaium is getting a sweet gen bash off on our southern gen farm over here. Catachans shredding this Hormagaunt Brood with a shotgun blast, and boom, down goes that Hormagaunt Brood. Lost double guardsman over here, and this Lictor Alpha is taking a lot of damage, probably gonna go down, does go down. And now these Gene Stealer Brood are on the field. Gonna use my crossbow bolt pistol to put these guys in place, and now they are forced to retreat, taking so much range fire. If they can't close the distance, these guys are sitting ducks and will just get shredded, and they are not cheap. But Naaium is decapping our southern power node over here, so a lot of trouble for us. Retreat path by Naaium through our entire army. I did put Hammer of the Witches on the Scout Sergeant, trying to drop a few models, but could not, so that was unfortunate. But now these Slugger Boys are retreat path right through my Catachans. Gonna try and force melee, brought down 1-2 models, and that's probably as much as I'm gonna get. And we are pushing down south to retake our lost power node over here. This devastated Marine squad having caught a bit out of position, unable to fire on the Chimera, but the guardsmen are getting caught by the devastated Marine squad, but the devastated Marine squad are getting a bit low on health, so probably gonna get out there. Quite a big fray going on in the middle. Lictor Alpha goes down again to my Catachans, and big blob of Orks and Tyranids over here. Pagata's going off, and boom! Slaughtering all these Tyranids, and my heavy weapon squad catching all these guys out of position, and a swamp going down on these guys, but they are pinned. And we do have a rocket man. Is it a rocket barrage? Creeping Basilisk barrage going down, so these Orks are taking tons of damage, getting snared, unable to retreat, and losing so many models. This Slugger Boy squad down to a single model. But I probably didn't see this, and oh no, the Inquisitor gets a last shot in with a bolt pistol. Wow. So knocking out a whole squad over there and causing tons of model losses for mana over here, but he has so much requisition, and everyone is pretty much hitting tier 3 right now. We do have the Lord General hitting down south, pushing forward behind the might of his Chimera. Logic lost his Chimera somewhere. I don't see the dead husk of a Chimera anywhere, but probably went down somewhere up north, maybe. But we do have a pretty strong position down south, and but Naaium has Assault Terminator, Force Commander Terminator, I mean. And he's getting the heavy flamer, which will absolutely wreck all my guardsmen. He's charging forward with that big mean power fist of him, punching the sergeant and hurling him back. And my guardsmen are pelting him with plasma guns. He is taking a bit of damage from all these guardsmen fire, and I am capping up north, fortifying it with my heavy weapons team and Catachans over here. We do have Gene Stealers coming in. Nothing my poor little guardsmen can do. The Gene Stealers over here. And this Force Commander wrecking this entire gen farm with cleansing flames over here. This Chimera a little bit overexposed over here. We do have vengeance rounds on this devastated Marine squad. Gonna do a lot of damage to this Chimera if he's not careful, but this Force Commander unable to get any rear armor hits in, and guardsmen getting exploded into bloody bits. Catachans coming to the rescue by Logic and hurling these guys away. We do have tank busters on the field, so these Catachans really need to turn their attention onto those tank busters. Those tank busters don't really have that much support, but the Catachans need to be getting in there to knock out these tank busters, but the Chimera is probably going to get out of there just in time, and these tank busters are in big trouble and do go down. Meanwhile, I did manage to push off a combined push by Termagant Brood over here. Not sure what I did. I think I called down, I snared them with a crossbow bolt pistol and called down an Inferno bomb as the Witch Hunters Globe, and did have them pinned with my heavy weapon squad over there. Meanwhile, we do have scouts just running some disruption behind. Probably gonna be pesky. We have lost our natural. This Gene Stealer is being very pesky over here. But lots of guardsmen on the field, but I don't think our guardsmen can fight off a fully upgraded Lictor Alpha. Lictor Alpha upgraded with the Lone Hunter, but is near some Gene Stealers, so won't be able to do much. Using his Assault Lead to jump away, and the Gene Stealers are hiding behind this wall over here. My guardsmen really don't want to be getting too close to these guys over here, but and we do have Logic uncapping Blue's natural over here, and we do have Naaium making a hard push over here. Shotgun scouts, infiltrated scouts catching these guardsmen out of position and really doing a number on them over here. And we do have these Gene Stealers wrecking into the Lord General's guardsmen over here, and these guardsmen are in big trouble. We do have an auto cannon setting up, so these Gene Stealers are taking a lot of damage. I'm gonna have to get out after these. This is a fully upgraded weapons team, and with the auto cannon they really be able to lay down some hurt. Meanwhile, these tactical space marines pushing down south again. I think Logic or someone did pump up this gen farm again. I do have infiltrated stormtroopers on the field armed with melter guns. I'm using Hammer of the Witches or something. Yes, Hammer of the Witches to stun this force commander while my stormtroopers try and lay a number on him, but my guys are a bit outnumbered over here, and one of the stormtroopers does go down. Shotgun scouts hurling my stormtroopers back, and we do have Cleansing Flame going. Or is it the regular flame? It's the regular flame attack, but doing so much damage to all my guys over here. And now my guys are really blobbed up, which is a bad place to be against a Terminator with a flamethrower. So my guys really have to retreat out there. Bad play on my part, just blobbing my guys up horribly. Meanwhile, my heavy weapon squad is pinning these guys over here, but they are probably gonna get the cap because the heavy weapon squad probably doesn't have the firepower to uproot these guys, and they do uncap the point. But I'm just using my heavy weapon squad to tie up these guys while Logic heads up north, and he is pulling out a Bane Blade, so that's really gonna be able to lay down some hurt on the blue team over here. But the blue team just has whole amounts of nasty super units on the field. Well, Gene Stealers, not really super units, but very pesky, very dangerous. And we do have Knobs by Phil over here, and they do have their Knob leader. Not sure if they have Nina and Greener yet, but regardless of what the icon says, it says they do power melee, but they actually do heavy melee, so their weapons are actually going to be very effective against all targets. You know, Logic was able to push off that little incursion by those Termagons, but we're probably not going to stand up to this combined push of Ork Slugger Boys and Knobs and these Gene Stealers. So my heavy weapon squad trying to provide some covering fire, but they're saltly hurling back all these guys. These Katachan Devils probably won't be able to do too much, and this is a big pile of nasty stuff, and we're probably going to have to get out of there. My heavy weapon squad is in a tremendous amount of trouble. I probably wasn't paying attention at this point, and this is a dead heavy weapon squad, and down it goes. I was probably microing on the middle, pushing back these Space Marines over here. These Devastated Marine squad very low, 39 hit points between two members. And my Katachans leading the charge. These guys are level 3, so going to be very tough, using Grenade Barrage to hurl back all these Tactical Marines to close the distance. Their shotguns really going to rip these scouts apart, but shotguns on the scouts hurling back my Katachans in turn and giving these guys space to retreat. You know, the Gene Stealers are absolutely mauling our power farm over here, and we do have a Bane Blade by Logic, but this Bane Blade doesn't have much support, and if these Gene Stealers can get in there and get some rear armor hits, this Bane Blade will be in big trouble. But fortunately there are some couple of Guardsman squads and Katachan Devils around, and these Knob squads are charging headlong into the Bane Blade, closing the distance. These Katachans, not sure why the Bane Blade didn't fire his main cannon, but these Knobs are probably not going to be able to bring down the Bane Blade, just taking a lot of damage. Execute going down on these Katachan Devils and gonna really double the damage output. Meanwhile, I am pulling out a Bane Blade of my own, but my Guardsmen are taking a lot of damage. And my Katachan Devils, very low hit points, gonna try and retreat. Trying to get a squad kill on these Slugger Boys, and I do stop and fire my shotguns and do get the kill, but now this Lehman Russ is in big trouble. A lot of melee stuff harassing it over here. But it does have its executioner cannon, which make it very effective against all these large blobs of infantry, and it's just spewing out plasma cannon bolts and really smacking the health off these Gene Stealers over here, so they're gonna have to get out of there before they get wiped out. But with the might of his Bane Blade, Logic has been able to take back the north side over here, and I am pulling a Bane Blade of my own. Logic has put up his own Lehman Russ, is a regular Lehman Russ, but Garter's going off by my Inquisitor, and boom, but knocking out a lot of these Termagons over here. My Stormtroopers leading the charge, melting all these guys with their melter guns. And down goes the Lictor Alpha. My Inquisitor, level 8 already, has been absolutely beastly this whole game, using Pagatus and the crossbow bolt pistol to great effect. But we do have Naaium, Phil looking very thin, actually losing pretty much his whole army, just has angry knobs on the field and a war truck. But Naaium and Mana still have a pretty substantial force. The Lord General pretty thin as well, only has a Leman Russ and a heavy weapons team. Naaium has a pretty decked out Space Marine army and is pulling out a Land Raiders to boot as well. We do have all 3 Imperial Guard players forcing back Naaium, and Naaium is horribly outnumbered over here, taking a Baneblade cannon to the face. The Devastators have to get out of there, and this big armored fleet and massive guardsmen doing so much damage to all these guys over here. And we do have a heavy Imperial Guard bunker over here being set down. Now this Terminator Force Commander is caught between 2 Leman Rushes and 2 Baneblade tanks, and he has a retreat path through our whole army, but he's probably gonna get out of there just fine. The Terminator Force Commander is crazy stuff, but we do have a Tyranid formation going on in this massive blob over here. That's why you shouldn't blob, and there are guardsmen getting gibbed everywhere, and I'm probably gonna lose the squad over here. My Catcher Chance are horribly low, and boom, guardsmen getting tossed all over the place. Catcher Chance down to 45 hit points, but my guardsmen actually did manage to survive. Very surprising. We do have this poor little war truck jumping in into all this big stuff over here, unloading a squad of knobs over here. And we do have hard boys and use your choppers down on these knob squad over here, and they are getting meaner and greener. Where's my Inquisitor? We do have a Space Marine orbital bombardment going off, but not catching too much, fortunately, and actually catching the knobs. So these knobs are in big trouble over here, and while they are caught in the beast, my guardsmen are going to open fire on them with their plasma guns, but the Land Raider has hit the field. So now we have all the super units meeting on the field. We do have a Swarmer as well, so we have double Baneblades, a Land Raider, and Leman Russes and Terminators everywhere. And my guardsmen are getting gibbed by the Land Raiders, grenade barrage over here, vengeance bolts on the Devastator Marines, doing so much damage, and the Melter Cannon from the Land Raider takes out the Leman Russ. Now the Swarmer is leading the charge alongside these level 2 knobs, doing so much damage. This Imperial Guard bunker getting chopped to bits by the Swarm Lord. Not sure what the Swarm Lord is doing when it could be focusing on bigger fish. But this double Baneblades is just going to form a huge firing line, and we're going to hold the line against this big pile of angry stuff over here. You know, my infiltrated stormtroopers with melter guns are hurling a melter bomb onto this Swarmlord. Now the Swarmlord is snared. I do have the Inferno pistol on my Inquisitor, so going to give her a very nasty AV weapon over here. We did have something getting blown to bits by my Baneblade battle cannon, but despite all the firepower we have, we are actually getting pushed back by all this stuff over here, all these line breakers leading the field. And my stormtroopers are getting absolutely wrecked, and the Swarmlord taking a lot of damage. I have put Judgment down on the Swarmlord, and in a few seconds I'll be able to I will be able to judge the Swarmlord. But now these knobs are just pushing forward, and blue team's actually going to get a triple on us. So I do smack Judge down, and Judge brings down the Swarmlord, and my Baneblade is trying to hold the line, but there's just a lot of stuff happening at my Baneblade. We do have missile launch attacks, and my Baneblade is taking a lot of damage, and we do have Gene Sealers coming into melee as well. I am calling in a Valkyrie rocket barrage and Baneblade battle cannon going off. My rocket barrage smacking a lot of these guys around, but the Leman Russ is just, the Land Raider, sorry, is just providing a mobile base, and the tactical marines are just reinforcing off it, and Naaium has the resources to keep his marines in the fight. So we are actually being pushed back in our base over here, and the blue team does have a triple. They do have north side with a whole bunch of Termagant broods over here, and they have taken our natural, just pushing back 2 Baneblades and a Leman Russ and all this stuff here. We do have knobs popping frenzy, and now my Baneblade's in a lot of trouble. But this is pretty much it, I think. I don't think the red team can come back from this, and my Baneblade is just getting absolutely massacred, and the Force Commander coming in with his Cleansing Flame, melting my whole Imperial Guard force over here. My lost a fully upgraded Guardsman squad, and my Catcher Chance took a lot of that, and down goes my Baneblade to a rocket, and my Inquisitor charging in to do what she can, but that's gonna be Judge going down on Land Raider, trying to do what I can, but that's game. So anyway, wow, what a game. The excellent play by Naaium and Mana, pretty much just using what they had, and they didn't really have any super units on the field apart from a Land Raider, and pushing back 2 Baneblades and Leman Russes with whole supporting armies of Imperial Guardsmen and Catcher Chance to boot. And this is just with regular tactical marines and the Terminator Force Commander. So wow, excellent play by Naaium and Mana, and Phil as well. His knobs really lay down some hurt on our guys, and despite just having a single squad left, that Knob squad really put on a lot of pressure on our guys, and almost level 3 in the brief time he was on the field. So anyway, let's just have a look at the commander levels here. The Lictor Alpha level 5, Warboss level 3, Commissar Lord level 5, Lord General level 6, and Inquisitor level 10. Wow. Anyway, so that was a great game. I really enjoyed that game, and always an honor to play with fantastic players like Naaium and all that. It's probably my first game playing with one of these high level players. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thongger out.